If I were to ask anyone watching this, how many of you have been influenced by diabetes, whether yourself, a friend, family, I would be willing to guess, or if I were a betting person living in this town, that over 50% of the people in this community have been somehow touched by diabetic neuropathy.
That's kinesiology professor Janet Dufek, one of two principal investigators responsible for the creation of a new technology to help patients with diabetes, a chronic and sometimes fatal disease. Engineering professor Mohammed Trabia began talking with Dufek about a solution to foot ulcerations many years ago.
I had a relative who had diabetic ulceration, and he passed away because of the complications associated with it. So the idea of trying to detect it before it happens was always in my mind.
Dufek and Trabia know that diabetics are particularly vulnerable to diabetic ulceration because of poor circulation or trauma to the feet. If not treated, these ulcerations could lead to amputation.
Think about it this way. If you were walking and had a rock in your shoe, you would feel that. However, many of these patients cannot feel that, and thus develop these problems with their feet.
But if patients and their physicians were notified before ulcers developed, then steps could be taken to prevent the foot damage. And this early detection is at the heart of what Dufek and Trabia have created.
The technology itself is an insole system that will measure pressure.
The team is developing algorithms to determine the pressure thresholds that may lead to ulcers in specific populations. Pressure is measured by specialized software that responds to sensors in an insole when a person is walking.
So what this software will do is that as a patient moves and walks, it will measure the pressures that they exert on the ground. The colors you're seeing on the right is the pressures that David, who is walking around right now, is exerting on his foot. So the red means a high amount of pressure, and the blue means a low amount of pressure. In other software, you would have to get the data and then post-analyze it to find out where we're getting large pressures. With this, we can actually see in real time where these pressures are occurring.
Our end game here is not only to alert the patient, but also their caring physician so that he or she has a plan for follow-up care.
Dufek and Trabia have applied for a patent for their solution to prevent diabetic ulceration. Once approved, their solution will improve the lives of millions of people around the world. And all the work was done here at the University of Nevada, Las Vegas.